This is Nancy Pearl. In the Shadow of the Banyan by Betty Ratner is the author's first and only novel. It tells the story of a 7-year-old girl who has polio, Rami, and her struggle to survive under the Khmer Rouge regime in Cambodia, in which 2 million people died. In 1975 to 1979, the Khmer Rouge vacated cities and forced families into labor camps in an attempt to build an agrarian utopia. Rami is a princess, and her father is a Sisolak prince. After losing her father, Rami, her mother, and her sister all get separated from the rest of their family and are placed at several villages and towns. Along the way, they lose Rami's little sister to malaria. They miraculously reunite with Big Uncle, but lose him again when he commits suicide. The memory of her father and stories and poems told by her father gave Rami the hope and will to survive. The author, Betty Ratner, was 5 years old when the Khmer Rouge took control of Cambodia in 1975. After 4 years of forced labor and constant starvation, she escaped with her mother to Thailand while losing most of her family. In 1981, she arrived in the United States as a refugee and studied Southeast Asian history and literature at Cornell University. She currently lives in Maryland, and In the Shadow of the Banyan, published in 2012, is her debut novel. Although the book is fictional, the story closely relates to the author's life. Like Rami, Ratner is a princess, her father descendant of King Sisolak. Ratner was 5 years old when the Khmer Rouge came to power. Both of the girls experienced the loss of family members, starvation, forced labor, repeated uprooting, and separation. The memory of her father is a major influence on this book. An inspiration for this book is Nights by Elie Wiesel. It was this book that inspired her to make public her family story. The author has had a huge impact on many audiences around the world. At the Penn Faulkner Foundation annual gala, she touched on the theme of art and resilience. At the United Nations Association, she spoke of human rights and the responsibility of global citizenship. At the Penn World Voices Festival of International Literature, she spoke on the theme of bravery in art and politics. It is apparent to me that Ratner has a powerful voice, a kind heart, and a strong desire to honor those who have suffered. Through her bravery, her story has touched millions and raised awareness of the Khmer Rouge takeover. In the book, hope is the main theme. In her father's letter to Rami, he says, "Life, I believe, is a circular path. No matter what misery and awfulness we encounter along the way, I hold out hope that one day we'll arrive at a blessed moment on the circle again. It is my dream that I live beside you always." The book is also a depiction of love between a father and a daughter and human resilience. The theme of coming of age is also prominent. As Rami starts out, a girl who is carefree and oblivious, and matures throughout the story when she is forced to deal with the continuous deaths of her family. She sees the world through a more mature pair of eyes at the end of the book, when she says goodbye to her homeland and prepares herself for a new start. Through the writing of the book, Ratner wants to honor her father's memory and all those who were killed. This book represents the struggles of those who suffered and reveals their tale through a fictional story that acknowledges a historical event. Although the story takes place in a period of terror, the depiction of the story is quiet, delicate, and full of poetic qualities. I think In the Shadow of the Banyan is a beautiful work of literature that allows readers to plunge into Rami's world and experience the highs and lows of life through a young girl's perspective. The tale is truly one worth reading, as it portrays how one can have hope in times of despair. Thank you. This has been a book review by Nancy Pearl.